This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ronnie Ecstasy, and this is Blue Men Group. Per usual, as always, I'm with my co-hosts, Devin Welsh and John Biedron.
Thank you so much for
it's-
having us.
Lads,
That's a good intro. You sound like you're waking me up for like breakfast.
I am.
The way you
Wakey
Well,
wakey.
yeah. Wakey wakey, eggs and bakey or something. But, John, you said you had a rough sleep last night. I apologize for that rough sleep.
Thank you. It was your
I
fault.
had nothing to do with it.
He kept waking me
you are
up and showing
sleeping-
me the news.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
always breaking
exactly.
stories.
And
I was like, Ron, save it for the morning.
I-
I don't want to deal with the news right now. I know there's a lot of news to cover, but we do this once a week.
yeah, I don't think the listeners realize we all sleep in a very large bed. It's kind of like the old original 1970s version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where we all sit in this news bed, and we have a ticker, an old-timey news ticker at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
And
The old-timey news
we-
sticker is Charlie Bucket, and he comes to our bed with the news.
yeah, and our
and we just
feet
wake
are always
each other up
Our feet
all
are always
night.
touching each other and stuff. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, everybody. Well, let's get right into it and take a look at this week in history.
August 1st, 1966. Charles Whitman goes on a shooting rampage at the University of Texas clock tower in Austin. With a high-powered rifle, he kills 14 people and wounds nearly 36 others hours after murdering his wife and mother. The killing ends when police gunned down Whitman 90 minutes after the siege at the clock tower began.
Yeah,
And
Charles Whitman.
Charles Whitman was interestingly ahead of his time.
Yeah, is this the first school shooting?
Yeah,
It seems like it. Well, no, that's not true. There was an old-timey one in Michigan in the 1800s that was very deadly. But this, the clock tower shooting in Austin, very famous.
Or the
I like
event.
that-
The event was ahead of its time in that, like, it was the first major kind of crazy shooting spree that was covered heavily by media and
Yeah.
turned into this kind
True.
of cultural moment.
It was also ahead of its time because the clock was running fast that day at the clock tower. Because of
That's
the weight
actually
on
what
the
set him
minute
off.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to ring bells, not shoot bullets.
Precisely 19
That's what I always
minutes
thought.
later, the cops shot him. They know exactly when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it seems as though I know that Texas has a strong gun culture, very adamant about their right to bear arms
Well, yeah,
down
but this
there.
was also like
Must have been a bit confusing.
What year was it?
19
It's
early
like
1960s.
Strong gun culture was like everywhere, right? Like,
Yeah, 1966.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was listening to the Beatles at the time. I'm trying to figure out why he was doing this. Either the Beatles,
The White
or,
Album hadn't come out yet, so that's
Yeah.
not
he
a
couldn't be
possibility.
saved by the Summer of Love.
Maybe he was listening to
Right, yeah.
Revolver.
That's
Yeah,
what I
that's
was
his
thinking. Or
favorite Beatles
Rubber
album is
Soul.
Revolver.
Rubber Soul.
Is that
He
where-
thought that meant that people actually
Rubber
had
s-
rubber souls, and that if he shot bullets into them, it wouldn't. They would just bounce off. kind
Right.
of thing.
I get
Crazy
that. Yeah.
they found his
So-
manifesto, Charles Whitman, and then they teach it in school now. Leaves of Grass.
Oh, wrong
Sorry.
Whitman.
That was his
No,
grandfather.
it's okay.
actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Things took a
could've
really
been.
harsh
They
turn
could've
in the
been
Whitman family over just a couple of generations.
Yeah, hook 'em horns. That's the University of Texas's little motto there. I wonder what the how they remember this. I mean, it's tough because the clock tower is going to be right in the middle of the campus. You're probably always going to have to look at it and be like,
yeah,
not the best.
Well, in 1966, everyone had to,
things.
between classes, or like every 15 minutes or so, go check what time it was by going to the middle of campus.
Yeah, that's true.
And adjusting their clocks.
Pocket
It was
watches.
really primitive technology at the time.
Yeah, pocket watches had been invented, but it hadn't gotten to Texas at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The old sky watch, as they called it. I call it a clock, but clock tower actually. But some people call it the sky watch because that's where. How the fuck did he get up there? Is what I
think
want to
there
know.
were stairs.
That's a good question.
Was he?
okay.
Oh, that makes the
Do you
most
think he was
sense.
doing this, by the way, to impress Jodie Foster?
We're not sure, but
Yes.
he was doing it probably to impress somebody.
Some girl.
Yeah, some Jodie Foster-esque figure on the campus.
Yeah.
We could look into his
Well,
whole
I actually
story
do
and try to
know
figure out who
The
in.
motivation.
Okay, hit it.
He had apparently an enormous tumor in his brain.
And
it was pressing
that's
on
not
the
where I
urge
thought you
to
were gonna go
kill
with that.
region of his brain. Well, they breed them bigger in Texas.
Oh my God. Okay, well, Mr. Whitman, Walt Whitman's grandson. Thank you. No, not thank you. You're a terrible man.
Well, yeah.
You're a bad for the academy. I don't think that this is what we had in mind when we were thinking about higher education. Let's go right into the news though, because that freaked me out. I felt I got too close to the clock tower there. But let's get in to the thickest part of the show. What's in the news? All right, gang. So that's huge week for news.
Yeah.
If you remember, if you were listening closely last week, we talked about condoms in Tokyo, and John said that these extremely thin condoms were a baggy fit, which I thought was probably my favorite joke of last week. This is my new segment where I talk about my favorite joke. Oh, that's
Sorry, I bought some
not
of those
a joke.
ultra premiums, and they are a baggy fit. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
But
okay.
we have a crazy update. I think that maybe even is due to our reporting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a good
I think so.
follow-up, yeah.
I think yeah, this is a follow-up, but I do believe that this is because of our stellar reporting. We got a headline here. It says Tokyo Olympics to be a dry event after organizers abruptly reverse course, which, as if you're familiar with the Olympics, reversing course is the worst thing you can do in any
you're supposed to run
athletic
along
event.
the track in one direction. If you turn around and start running the opposite direction, you're disqualified.
Yeah, that's DNF, did not finish. So organizers of the Tokyo Olympics abruptly reversed a decision announced the previous day to sell alcohol at Olympic venues following criticism from medical experts in ordinary Japanese.
Wow.
So the ordinary Japanese are very upset about this, along arm in arms with medical experts.
An interesting coalition.
I know. The games are due to start in 1 month's time, despite calls for them to be canceled due to the pandemic. Organizers portrayed the decision as an antivirus measure. Rest in peace, John McAfee. A weekend poll by the Kyoto News Agency found 86% of respondents believe that the games would spread the coronavirus. But organizers also appear to be responding to charges of showing Olympic athletes and sponsors preferential treatment. Well, yeah,
They should
shit.
just lean into it this year. I mean, they're going to hold it. They're going to have the
Yeah,
Olympics happen.
they're
going to
have to
And
do
they
it.
you know what? They're probably right. They probably will spread some coronavirus. So why not just turn it into
big
an
time.
Olympic event?
Yeah.
Why not just
To
make
see
super
who can
spreading?
spread more.
agree more.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like competitive
Yeah,
spitting.
couldn't agree more.
Talking loudly in a closed room.
Yeah.
A thon.
Sneezing.
This is the Olympics
competitive-
responding to, today's realities.
Right.
The things that
it's
we
like,
can
okay,
compete
Yep.
in.
the original Olympic sports were like throwing javelins and discuses and like, traveling great distances and shooting arrows. And it's like all
Putting
it's all, like,
shot.
old war stuff. And now we're in the age of bio warfare. So
It's true.
why not have the sports reflect the current bio warfare tropes of the time?
Yeah, and it's truly is like a who's got the strongest immune system in the world. I'm less concerned about
There
like
you go.
physical strengths
Yeah.
anymore in this bio warfare kind of
Yeah.
environment we live in. I don't mean bio warfare, but you know what?
Why don't we just stick all the athletes? We just get like some of the most like hardy looking athletes, ruddy colored faces, and just stick them with a bunch of different
Yes.
mystery viruses.
Yeah.
Who survives the
Yeah.
most amount of them?
Yeah, the most amount of pain
So,
and infection.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haru Ozaki, the chairman of the Tokyo Medical Association, says, "Are the Olympics an exception after having placed a burden of anti-infection measures on restaurant operators for so long?"
Yes, he concluded.
Yes, is the answer. The answer is yes. They are preferred. They are incredibly, svelte athletes coming into your town,
Well,
Tokyo.
if your
biggest city
restaurant
in
was
the
only
world.
open once every 4 years, maybe they would be open. Maybe that would be the exception.
They're
Yeah,
we're not using Olympic
that's
logic
where the
here.
international money is. They don't care about these small Japanese businesses. Like, move over.
No.
Right.
Yeah, we have Olympians coming in, and they are hungry. So Tokyo is currently under restrictions that limit alcohol consumption to groups of no more than 2 people for up to 90 minutes between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. at bars and restaurants that are certified as taking proper anti-infection measures. So that's kind of interesting. You can't drink a beer with 3
Just
people
you
in
and one
Japan.
friend. You and one
Yeah.
friend have to get drunk together
Before the sun starts going
Before
down.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
That's
like
interesting. At a certified restaurant too. Okay. Well, do you know what I was thinking about too? Is in the very early goings on of coronavirus, they were very adamant about still having the Olympics. That was like the last holdout I remember. Wherever the Olympic Committee was like, "No, we're doing it. We're doing it," and people are like, "No,
Please
do
don't
not
hold
do
the
it."
Olympics,
This is
please.
stop. Dude, like, we don't need this right now. And again, as I said last week, it's kind of the competition of nationalisms. Like, who's the stronger country here? In a time where we're trying to come together as international global
Right.
citizens. So this should be a very interesting Olympics coming up. So organizing chief Seiko Hashimoto said Monday that alcohol sales were being considered, but only on the condition that drinkers refrain from congregating or shouting at the venues.
That sounds like it would be a difficult thing to
there was
ensure.
also-
Giving people a bunch of
Yeah,
booze
there
and
was
then
also-
not hoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a sporting event too. There was also criticism that the decision to sell alcohol was motivated by commercial
Oh, no
interests.
shit,
Yes.
Olympics. Motivated by commercial interests. Oh, I wonder.
Yeah. The Olympics,
Yeah.
sponsored by Nike, specifically those of Olympic sponsors such as Asahi
Hell
Group
yeah.
Holdings.
Great product.
Just I consume.
We-
Asahi.
By the way,
I
this
love
week's
it.
episode is brought to you by Asahi Beer.
Yeah.
Malt
We do
premium
have
Yeah.
to
lager.
disclose that we have a long-standing financial relationship with Asahi Group Holdings, and
Thank
we
you.
can't really comment further
Yes.
on the company itself.
Yeah, but we support them in anything that they do, and I hope that they are doing well and staying above
And
ground
selling a lot of
financially.
beer at the Tokyo Stadium.
Exactly. So they had the exclusive rights to sell the beer at the games, and now I guess they're upset. Organizers announced on Monday that the number of domestic spectators at all Olympic events would be limited to 50% of the venue capacity, up to a maximum of 10,000 people. Overseas spectators have already been banned. A decision on the attendance at the Paralympics will be made on July
See, that seems
16th.
like a little unfair for the other competitors, like the other nations.
Yeah,
It's
the
like you look into the
Japanese-
stadium and
yeah.
it's only Japanese people, and they're all just like, well, we don't really. They're not going to be cheering for you.
Yeah, the home
know
court
that.
advantage is
Right.
going to be extreme this Olympics.
Extreme, yeah.
Yeah, so this is all kind of weird, but as we said, we reported on this story last week as it was more of a condom story. But they go on. So this is where they we picked up on last week's story. The organizers announced that they would not be distributing condoms to athletes, which has been the practice since 1988 because of HIV/AIDS awareness, and so they're kind of making a lot of reversals here. I can't wait until next Tuesday. They're going to say that the 400 meter race will actually be going the other way.
Nice.
They're going to reverse that as well.
I think that this is going to be the most tightly wound Olympic Games in the modern history, even more so maybe than the 1940 whatever 6.
Right.
Whatever.
36.
Yeah, no booze and no condoms.
No booze, no sex. All the athletes are going to be like on edge. They haven't like had any. They're like all stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a virus.
They don't want to be.
All
Yeah.
of the stadium is going to be filled with extremely sober, non-hooting or hollering Japanese people. Watching silently.
Yeah, exactly. No shouting. It's all nuts. Yeah, I think another decision that they should reverse is they should snuff out the Olympic flame. we're done with the flame. It's all gone now. Yeah, it's going to be a weird fucking Olympics. I think we are going to be on the Olympic beat. You never know. There may be a special episode of Blue Men Group Olympic Edition, where we go into some of the more interesting aspects of this Olympics that we haven't already discussed, like no drinking, no sex,
There's
no
probably
condoms.
other interesting things going on. It's hard to imagine the sex and the beer stuff being, topped, but I'm sure there's other more sensational stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so keep your ears peeled for that. That will be brought to you by Asahi Group Holdings, the official beer sponsor of the Tokyo Olympics. So we'll see you in Tokyo, and put a condom on.
Bring your own
condoms.
Asahi, let's share the emotion.
That's it. Let's share let's share the emotion. All right, John, what do you got going on over there at the coffee desk?
Hey, just finishing up a cup of Joe right now. Well, we have an interesting story here from one of our favorite affiliates, themilitarytimes.com. Goodbye coffee. Service members might soon be fueled by a jolt to the brain.
What?
Excuse me? Is that shock therapy?
This is a story from 3 days ago. And a new study says there might be an alternative to sleep deprivation remedies besides caffeine. I myself got a terrible night of sleep, as Ron pointed out at the head of the show, because I have a pregnant wife and a cat, and they sleep in the bed, and they're both getting bigger.
That's so funny, though. Just as a total aside, that you're in the bed with 3 other living beings.
Constantly.
So you need a jolt in the morning more than anybody, really.
Yeah, I need to get someone to tap into my cerebellum and just shock it with something to wake it up. Joe, mud, Java. There are many names for the steamy brown sludge we robotically pour into mugs adorned with clever caffeine-centric quotes. That's a really colorful lead-in for the Military Times.
Yeah.
For Military Times, I know. They hired a creative writer.
But now, thanks to a study performed by the Air Force Research Lab, coffee will perhaps someday be replaced, ... wait for it, with a jolt to the brain. 40 active duty military personnel from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base participated in the study funded by NASA in an attempt to analyze the efficacy of transcutaneous cervical vagus nerve stimulation in treating migraines and the impacts of sleeplessness.
When they say funded by NASA, I just imagine a guy with like crazy hair and like two like jumper cables from a pickup truck just like chasing you. Like that's the funding by NASA. That guy
bolts into your neck to have like the positive and the negative terminal, and they just latch on like Frankenstein.
Exactly.
One possible way to enhance alertness could be by, and this is a quote from the study, and in parentheses, non-invasively, stimulating an area of the brain called the locus coeruleus. To do so, the study looked at how a non-invasive electrical neuromodulation device, this is very jargony, which has also been used to treat
Yeah.
drug-resistant epilepsy and depression, could influence the military's exhaustion-fueled abuse of energy drinks and coffee.
So the abuse of energy
Nice.
drinks in the military is like a serious enough problem that they're having to devote scientific research to these alternatives.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like that they're like peeling money off the NASA budget to fund these insane studies.
It's like,
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's like I thought we were supposed to go to space. It's like, and then again, it's that guy with the jumper cables just
Yeah.
chasing you. He's like, no, we give all the money
It's
to
like
him
a guy
now.
at like a circular desk being like, we're spending like $20,000 on energy drinks, and it's
Yeah.
like, for the mess halls. It's like, could we maybe peel $1.4 billion off the NASA budget to fund a study?
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah. So this is non-invasive, I guess. It's like a helmet that they want people to be wearing.
Yeah.
In the military. I don't think it's like a always helmet on kind of thing. This is probably like you go to the nurse's office and they put this little helmet on you, and all of a sudden you're a killing machine for 24 more hours.
I like to imagine that they say the study will, be non-invasive and everything, but it's like our servicemen are too sleepy, so we're going to be putting the matrix hole in your neck.
yeah.
We're going to be pumping 20,000 volts into you.
Yeah, so that you can do like 48-hour, deep missions into enemy territory and be,
Yeah.
perfectly alert
Yeah.
and in a positive mood the whole time.
Fatigue is a serious and
exactly.
unavoidable problem for many professions, such as medicine, transportation, and the military, reads the study. In general, it is a serious public health risk. Fatigue induced by sustained wakefulness can cause slower reaction times, a reduced ability to multitask, and increases in lapses of attention that can lead to costly and even deadly mistakes.
This is so funny. And this like, do they know about sleep?
Yeah.
Like this is the big thing. It's like
Just let them go to
why-
bed. Stop playing.
Just give
Stop playing taps on the horn at 5 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah, like
let
the
'em
whole
sleep in.
situation is
let these
fucked.
people rest.
They're just putting like NASA money into how to keep people alive forever or how to keep them awake. It's like, what about
8
pillows?
hours
Have
of
we thought about
shut-eye?
pillows?
Yeah, have we thought about some rest and relaxation? 8 hours of quiet silence. But
Who has to
anyway,
deal with sustained
Oh my
wakefulness
God.
more than service members? I don't know. I guess.
yeah, like everybody.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
treatment
Delivered
only.
yeah.
cervical. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say the treatment only takes 6 minutes per stimulation dose. So you put on the helmet, zap yourself for 6 minutes, and then you're more awake, aroused, attentive, and an improved mood as well as a feature.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
we delivered
God.
the shock through a handheld neurostimulation device, originally approved to treat headaches. The device passes a non-invasive electrical current pulsed at 25 hertz through the skin to the nerve via 2 electrodes placed over the neck, like Frankenstein.
Yeah,
It only takes
Yeah.
6 minutes per stimulation dose, the study reads.
yeah.
And then the article goes on to say, which sounds much more simple than all the rigmarole associated with making a cup of coffee. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. To be shocked awake
No.
sounds less complicated than making
Yeah.
coffee, something that's like 5,000 years old. Insane.
Yeah.
The
There'll
therapy
be-
the study concluded is said to increase wakefulness, attention, and arousal. And
Yeah, I
improve
know.
mood
So
during periods of sleep.
is sexual arousal a byproduct of this?
I hope.
I
so.
hope I am.
I
For
hope
me,
so,
it is.
yeah.
Right now, it
Yeah.
is. John's telling me all of this, and I think it's.
Ron,
I'm
yeah, Ron
very
is back
excited.
over at the condom desk from our last story. He's just sticking. There's an uncovered light switch, and he's sticking his finger in there, and he's just trying to see if he can get
I know.
Yeah, get a little aroused. But yeah, I
Just
think
need
a little action.
I need a
the
shock.
thing to finally replace Starbucks will be on every corner a store where you just go and put on the helmet for 6 minutes and get your zap.
Or it'll just be
And go to
Starbucks
work.
and you order, a Jolt cola or whatever, but instead of whatever it is, it's just a D battery that you lick the inside 2 terminals.
Yeah.
Which I encourage our listeners
Yeah, if you've
to
never
try.
done that, it's very
at
cool. You
least.
should try it out.
Yeah, it's my older sister used to make me do it when I was about 5. So it's something that you should consider, just licking a D battery. Take one out of your smoke
We promise
detector
it
and lick
doesn't
it,
hurt.
and then put it back. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Well, John, this is really interesting, and I appreciate you reporting on this. Now, one of the aspects that we didn't tell you about is we are going to send you off to NASA, and you are going to be getting a space jolt to your head. And we are going to fix some of your sleep problems, as in you will be awaked, as we call it, sustained wakefulness for probably about 48 hours at a time. So thanks very much for reporting on that. I
can't wait to become a robotic killing machine.
That's right. And we will make John just that. Hey, Dev, I see you over there waving. Right. You're waving at me because you're trying to get me to come over to your desk.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get you to come over, but you're so far away. I'm all alone here. I'm here at the loneliness desk, actually. It's a tough desk to be at sometimes.
I'm sorry, Dev.
But
sorry.
We have to report the news, and sure. I do have a story about loneliness and about rejection, heartbreak, emotional pain. The headline from the New York Post: Mom heartbroken after 22 no-shows at son's 6th birthday party. So we've got, this is a pretty heavy story. A mom broke hearts on TikTok when she shared the devastating news that her son was all alone during his own birthday party when, quote, literally 0 people showed up. In the video on TikTok, user Donners86 said all 22 kids invited to JJ's 6th birthday party were no-shows. She also shared heartbreaking details that her son was left playing in the park by himself with decorations and cupcakes set up for the party. So this is straight from the loneliness desk. My
favorite thing about the loneliness desk, I wasn't sure if it was going to be worth it, but we had to hire some electricians to install one hanging light bulb over it to have a single sad
just
spotlight.
Swings.
Yeah, it
but it's really adding to the ambience of the story.
So the mom explained that COVID-19 restrictions had been lifted in her area and that the party was hosted outdoors to ensure safety, but nobody from JJ's class showed.
Ron, were you invited to JJ's 6th birthday bash?
Yeah.
I was actually. There's no way I'm
Why
going
not?
Yeah, I didn't want to make it.
I don't go to 6-year-old birthdays. Come on.
I hate to speak ill.
I think JJ's
He's really
annoying.
I was going to say the same thing. He's super annoying. He is constantly interrupting class.
Yeah.
He always thinks he has a funny joke, and it's really annoying. And he's doing gross stuff all the time.
So I showed up, but I peeked around the corner and I saw that there was nobody there, and so I just left because it was awkward.
You don't want to be the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like, happy birthday, JJ.
Would cling to you for the rest of the semester like you guys were best friends. It would be super awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So the mom says, so we're sitting at the park for JJ's birthday party. We got everything ready. His party started half an hour ago. He had literally 0 people show up for his birthday. My poor little man. In the video's caption, JJ's mom wrote, sorry, the video is shaky, ... I am so upset for this poor guy. He deserves better. He's amazing. But since posting the video on June 20th, it has amassed more than 543,000 likes and more than 20,000 comments, with many viewers sending birthday wishes, sharing similar situations that happened to them or their children, and offering to send JJ gifts.
Wow, Guild of the Lonely over here.
However, the mother has refused the gifts, saying that the offers are, quote, greatly appreciated, but asking that they instead be sent to children's hospitals. She also insisted that JJ wanted to spend time with friends, not receive gifts, but that the, quote, outreach has been phenomenal.
That's
a lie. JJ 100%.
I love the idea that there's 20,000 children's hospital administration staff members now with new toys that they're playing with
that all have JJ engraved in them.
Yeah. But I also like the idea that 543,000 likes and 20,000 comments. You show that to JJ, he's like,
where are they?
Nobody came to my party.
JJ received 20,000 RSVPs, but no one showed up to his next birthday party. He's even lonelier now.
The article goes on to say she later went live on TikTok hosting a virtual birthday party for JJ where almost 30,000 viewers joined at some point.
Not all at the same time.
So, so they had 30,000 viewers join him on his birthday, which is even better, really, than a few friends, if you think about it.
It is unclear how many of the viewers were there to see how pathetic it was.
Oh, yeah. Which we can't say one way or the other, but... Although JJ and his mom were in better spirits after all the support, that isn't always the case. In 2018, an Arizona mom shared a photo of her son sitting alone next to a partially eaten pizza when none of his 32 guests showed up to his 6th birthday party. The photo went viral, but Sil Mazzini later claimed that she regretted sharing the photo of her son. Honestly, I would love to go back in time and not have sent that message, Mazzini said. We don't want all the attention. We didn't do this for attention or for gifts or anything. I did it in the moment, but I wasn't smart. I was upset. That's it.
Stop posting, everybody. I say that as myself too,
because he's all alone.
Yeah.
Like, look at this
stop
poor
trying
little,
to like
sad little pathetic guy.
Yeah, the fact that okay, so imagine we actually had newspapers, right? And you're just like reading through the news, and then you come across all these like how many people were at a kid's birthday party announcements. It's like, what the fuck? Why is this in the news?
It's crazy that it's right next to the obit section. It's like who died this week, who didn't show up to kids' birthday parties this week.
Who like wanted to die this week.
Birthday.
Yeah.
JJ wanted to, yeah.
But so that's the story that I've got for you from the loneliness desk. I think I've got to switch desks here because I'm starting to feel
why don't you stay over
a little.
there?
No,
stay over at the loneliness.
Come on.
Fine.
Yeah. Well, no. Come on over. But just stay. Just stay.
We'll come over there
but
later.
stay away.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll be over there
waiting.
Later. Yeah, we got
Sit
some
tight,
things.
bud.
Text me.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there. All right. Well, hey, that was the chunkiest part of the show.
Part.
That is what's in the news. Now, we like to focus on, one person. Yeah, that was the thick part. Yeah, we like to focus on one person and just kind of go in and highlight their capabilities or what makes them special, and that's where we're at now for our new segment, the Nude Sunbathers of the Week.
There were so many nude sunbathers to comb through this week.
Yeah, but this is a great story.
Well,
ending on a high note, I think. Ending on a note of
Absolutely.
of mystery and magic, and
It was
levity.
definitely worth it when Ron had us look through all of the photos of the nude sunbathers and their genitalia close up, so we could judge and rank them based on who's going to win this week's coveted prize.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just helps me, to be honest. It just helps me kind of rank, and because I look at them and I say like, they're all so great, and I have a tough time deciding which one is top tier and which is not, because I'm so accepting. That's like one of my downfalls, is that I'm just so accepting. I'm really easy to work with too, which I think is something great about. Okay, so let's go into the headline here. Police rescue spooked nude sunbathers from Australian forest.
I didn't know Australia had forests.
I've heard some things. Well, I was going to say, I know about one Australian forest, Belengala.
Oh, yes.
That I do not want to be caught sunbathing nude in, because a lot of people died there.
But
shout out to all of our Australian listeners. We love you.
But fortunately, nobody died in this story.
That's right.
There was a happy ending.
Right. Dev, do you want to take us through this one?
So police have fined 2 men who had to be rescued from an Australian forest after they were startled by a deer while nude sunbathing on a beach and became lost. The men called for help.
The
men called for help about 6 p.m. Sunday after they became lost in the Royal National Park south of Sydney, a police statement said Monday. Police Commissioner Mick Fuller told the reporters, "Unbelievably, we saw 2 men sunbaking, he said, actually, naked on a beach on the south coast.
Yeah.
They were startled by a deer, ran into the national park, and got lost."
Okay, I was going to say, I think I said this to you earlier, but this story has really big, like, took mushrooms and got scared vibes.
Yeah, there's some psychoactive substance maybe at play.
Or like, it doesn't, I don't think, that does give their ages, but I was going to say, this is like when you're 17 and it's like, I'm with my friend and we got startled by a deer, so we ran into we were naked, by the way, and we ran into the forest.
It's also like, of all the animals to be startled by, the deer is famed for being easily startled itself.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
to
one of
reverse that situation is madness.
One of the least dangerous animals to encounter in the woods.
Yeah.
Completely harmless. The
Unless
rescue
you're a pine cone or some berries. That's the
Right.
only
The
being
only-
you should be afraid of
Yeah.
deer.
The rescue involved police aircraft, the state emergency service, and ambulance officers. So a lot of tax dollars were
love
spent on saving these
Yeah,
guys.
I love when the system
Yeah.
works.
The men aged 30 and 49, respectively, were fined 1,000 Australian dollars each for breaching a stay-home pandemic order that restricted them to Sydney, police said.
Oh, come on.
I like that it gives you the U.S. price, which I'm not here to make fun or make light of Australia or its economy, but 1,000 Australian dollars is only like $750 U.S.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Dollary dues. Yeah, we don't have to make fun of their dollary due.
The younger man was found naked and carrying a backpack, while the older man was partially clothed, the police statement said. And Fuller described the pair as, quote, idiots.
Idiots. That's so good. That's great. Yeah, police commissioners Mick Fuller. That guy sounds like a barrel of
professional
laughs. He's like,
wrestler.
these idiots.
Yeah.
These naked
Isn't
idiots.
it also funny that they were frightened by a deer and retreated into the Australian forest, where you will probably find like wolverines, giant monster spiders, crazy snake.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Every other animal in the natural wildlife section of that forest is like 30,000 times more dangerous than the deer.
Why don't they just
Yeah.
go into the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, the deer's not gonna go. Well, it's winter time there, so it's very cold. The temperature range on Sunday at Otford, the town nearest to where the men were lost, was 3 degrees Celsius, which is 37 degrees
There's-
Fahrenheit to 19
sunbathing. They
were
degrees 66
sunbaking.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
They,
That is
they
weird.
got baked up by the sun.
Were they really sunbathing?
No,
Wait,
of
what do you
course
mean?
not. They
What
were
do you
trying
think-
to.
What were they doing?
They were
Why-
trying to-
Why were they naked then? Why would they be naked on a beach if they
I
weren't
can't.
sunbaking?
I can't even say it.
I don't know.
Can't
I mean,
even say it.
two men,
The deer, John. They were scared by
Two
a
men
deer.
for
It's
age
his birthday party,
49 and
I demand
30.
you explain this to me.
yeah, two men aged 49 and 30 naked on the beach in an isolated area in the
in
winter.
the winter.
I don't know.
dear.
These idiots. They're such idiots. Yeah, idiotic move. So the pair were among 44 people fined by police on Sunday for breaching a public health order. That's with regards to COVID-19, not being naked in the woods.
Which is not a health risk.
Yeah, not a health risk. After Sydney began a 2-week lockdown on Friday due to a new COVID-19 cluster. So these bad lads are out there getting naked, just hanging out in the forest. I don't think we have a picture of them. We don't have any names either. I wish we
know.
did. I wish we could see.
Well, we saw
I wish
pictures.
we could
I wish we
see
could
a lot
see
more
what-
about this story. Yeah,
Every-
we saw
everything.
pictures, but nothing
Yeah.
that we can share.
right. Because it's a radio
right.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got those pictures. Okay. Well, yeah. So if you're an idiot sunbaking in the Australian
Winter.
central whatever you're doing, just like I don't
Cut
know,
it
figure
out.
something out. Just cut it out.
It's
like
fine. It's not.
don't be an idiot.
It's just a deer.
Yeah.
Just chill
Yeah,
out.
just
It's
a
fine.
deer.
Here, come closer to the beach. Settle in.
Yeah, come over here. All right, everybody. That was the Nude Sun Bakers of the week. Now, as we do on this here show, is we like to go through last week's numbers, and as you know, last week we looked into last week's numbers.
Yeah.
This week,
This is
This
by the way,
week-
people don't realize because we never said it, but we're all together at the abacus desk.
Yeah.
This is where we
the
sit. for
the
this.
who desk?
The
Abacus, yes.
And it's difficult to put your coffee
Yes.
and stuff down because there's all these sliding beads on the surface.
is.
Wait,
Yeah, we're
John.
bean counters.
I'm seeing
So-
some very good news.
Wait, what's our week's
This
number?
is
What's going on?
huge. This is huge. We are up 52% over the previous 14
Booyah.
days, and we have blasted past 4,000 all-time downloads.
Flock has returned.
with 4,053.
Over 4,000.
So, ultra thin condoms, Yep, last episode, 37 ultra thin condoms and sea mucus cleanup did very well. 90 first
People
week
were
listens,
really
which is
intrigued by the
big.
title of that one.
Yeah, we need to keep
I
pervert
hope
listeners,
so.
we
yeah,
need to keep loading the titles with like the weirdest, most perverted stuff in the episode.
for these
That's
fine
true.
sickos.
I should do that for our sicko listeners. Yeah, this is a good week. Last 7 days, 177. Last 30 days, 594, which I do like. That's a
It's a
nice,
good number. There's something
good
about that
number
that's very
to
pleasing.
have. I know,
Maybe
it does
because
look
5 and 4
nice.
is 9, and 9 is 99.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay,
I had too
yeah.
much coffee at the Java
Interesting.
desk.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just very happy about that blasting past 4,000. That was something that I really,
So
really
this was a
wanted
short
to do.
week for us. Like from the last episode, for us checking the numbers.
Yeah, that's true.
So
So
we're
we'll,
up even more.
even more than we see here.
Yeah. So even if we let this ride out a little bit longer, we'll be sitting pretty. But listen to this: we ducked below 10% from our Canadian listeners. We're at 9.43%.
That's a good and a bad thing. we want
Canadian,
yeah.
Canadian listeners, but we want a broad and diverse audience. So
Yes, true.
Exactly. But the thing that happened was some of that percentage went to Australia, who we've been urging Australians to stay out of the forest
Yes.
naked. So that is going to be interesting to see how Australian listeners
Respond.
yeah,
react
Hopefully
to
we
that.
have a measured impact on the safety statistics of the South Sydney forest.
That's right. And United Kingdom coming in at fourth, as they do. And then Argentina, interesting. Eva Perón, a birthplace of Che Guevara.
Death place.
Who
of-
else?
Well,
yeah. It's a wonderful
unsavory characters from
but
World War II.
complicated country.
so are we?
Yeah,
so we're
interesting
gonna rank
place.
now. So our listener nation of the week is Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. That's where the most growth I'm seeing. It's interesting that Argentina and Austria are tied for the percentage of listeners.
Maybe they can duke it out next week, and we'll see who
Yeah.
takes the top spot. We're having our own Olympics between the nation listeners of the Blue Men Group universe.
That's right. And
I call chairman of the
I'm
IOC.
just
Okay, I'm vice chairman.
I had to get that
all
in
right,
there.
John.
Nice.
John is the chairman of the IOC. I am the Olympic flame. Devin is the guy who tests everybody's pee for drugs. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and we encourage you to share, like, comment, all of that kind of stuff. But seriously, if you are on Apple Podcasts, please do subscribe and give us a 5-star. And if you're so inclined, please write something funny. It would help. It actually does help and populates our subscriber base that shows more people our podcast. And I really appreciate that. You are listening, and I appreciate Devin for the work that he does on the podcast. This is the serious portion now. And I appreciate John for his patience and bad sleep
And
habits.
being late all the time. Remember when we used to be mad at one person secretly for being late?
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
bring
days
that
are
back.
past
that
us
happened a
now.
lot.
The iciness back.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.